guys? Welcome back to the channel. Took a break for a little while. I've been collecting parts for the drive-by-wire setup, and I decided to hold off on the tune for a little bit till it cools down. It's just too hot right now, and the car doesn't really need a tune right now. So yeah, that's why I've been kind of just chilling. In the meantime, I've been doing some little small things. As you can tell, I got the 57NR wheels. This is from Graham Lights. 57NR. It's a brand new wheel for 2024. I installed these about 3 months ago, and I did make a small subtle change. I went ahead and added those center caps right there. I think it completed the look of the wheel, made them look a lot better. I feel like some wheels look good without center caps and some don't. These, in my opinion, did not look good without center caps. And as you can tell, I have 3 lug nuts currently on because I actually went back to the CE28s, and I've been rocking those for a couple weeks, and I guess I got some explaining to do. All right, so let's talk about these wheels. I'm actually expecting new wheels today. Obviously, if you saw the thumbnail and everything on the video, you know that that's coming. But like I said before, I went back to the OG, triple OGs. These are my dream wheels, my forever wheels. I'm not getting rid of these. These are CE28s. If you follow the build, you know about them. I've had them for a couple years, actually 3 years. But anyways, as far as the 57NRs, it's a good looking wheel. It's overall, I mean, it's a quality wheel. It's from Ray's. So I decided to kind of go away from these wheels. I actually already have a buyer lined up for these. But the reasons why I'm ditching these wheels is because this was kind of like an impulse buy. I originally wanted some ZE40s, and for whatever reason, Ray's discontinued that wheel in a 9.5 or anything wider. So it was very difficult to find, and I didn't want to buy a used set. But anyways, as far as these wheels, it was kind of an impulse buy. I was taking a huge risk with these because nobody had them. So when I ordered them, literally, I was one of the first people to order them. So when they showed up, they look good. No complaints, really. It wasn't until after I got them on the car that I really decided that maybe I should kind of part ways with these. For starters, these things are super, super heavy. And keep in mind, I'm comparing everything to the CE28, so just take everything I say with a grain of salt. These wheels are great wheels. However, I feel like I was basically taking a step down from these to these, and the purpose of my secondary wheel was just to kind of switch it up, but I also didn't want to feel like I was basically missing something, and that's how I feel with these. So like I stated before, I wanted the Z40s, and this is pretty much a mix of the Z40s and the C28s put together in one wheel with some smaller details added. But that's how I feel about these. It's a mixture of both. Obviously, these aren't forged, therefore they're not very light. All right, let's talk about the color. So this is supposed to be a bronze. It did state it was dark bronze. However, I didn't expect them to be this dark. It looks more like a copper in real life, like a brownish copper. It does look more bronze, obviously, in the sunlight. But keep in mind, I took a gamble with these wheels because pictures look different than in real life. So I'm not crazy about the color. I wish it was more of that JDM kind of lighter bronze. Overall, you know, it's a nice wheel. If I had like my Civic Si still, and these specs were not as wide and aggressive, I probably would have threw them on there. I thought about throwing them on the Corolla, but they're just too wide. And then not to mention, I kind of like the stock black wheels on the Corolla. So these are not a bad wheel. I need you guys to understand that this is a pretty big build when it comes to this Evo. I switched up like the factory Recaros for Sportsters. So like it needs to be a wheel, in my opinion, that's like that caliber of wheel. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with these. I just feel like I'm basically taking a step down. And to be honest, they feel like a knockoff Z40 to me. So yeah, that's that on that wheel. So as far as what I have coming today, I actually ordered a new wheel. I said, screw it. You know what? The Z40s are discontinued. I can't get them. So I went ahead and ordered something a little bit different, something actually very different from what I do. And I actually ordered some Desmond Regamasters. And when I said order, I mean, like, I ordered it. It showed up in my account and everything. Like, I had an invoice and all that stuff. And I kid you not, 2 days later after I placed the order, keep in mind, I called them to ask if they had them in stock. And the lady, not only did she give me attitude about it, because she was talking about like, oh, if it says it on the website, it's in stock. We do a good job making sure that the website's up to date, so on and so forth. So I placed the order, and I kid you not, 2 days later, I get an email saying that they don't have them. So I was really upset about that. I really wanted to try that Regamaster setup. But I'll be honest with you, after doing consideration, I don't think these would have fit on this car the way that I wanted them to. I do like wheels with a lip. That's one of the reasons why I love these wheels. However, the Regamasters, that 5-spoke, didn't have much to it. No concave, no concavity, nothing. So I think it would have been a little too different. They probably would have still looked good, just not really my style, basically. So I toyed around with the idea of maybe getting something different, maybe giving it a shot and trying some TE37s. I know it sounds crazy because if you follow me on Instagram and stuff, you know I always joke around with TE37s, how they're overdone and all that stuff. So hopefully the truck will be here soon and you guys get to see what I ended up going with after all. All right, guys, they're finally here. To my surprise, the delivery guy kind of just left them on the porch. Didn't ring the doorbell or anything, but they're here. I did open them up off camera just to make sure there's no damage or anything. I'm not going to tease you guys any longer. We're just going to get right into it because we have a lot to cover. All right, guys, here they are. These are my brand new ZE40s in the bronze finish. This is a wheel I've been wanting for a very, very long time. And let's just say life works in mysterious ways. So basically, shortly after I had that ordeal with the whole Desmond wheels, I was livid, guys. I was so upset, mainly because I did my due diligence and called them ahead of time and asked them if they had them in stock. They told me yes, and then they gave me attitude. So that whole freaking ordeal was pretty upsetting. I was pretty pissed that night. It was actually exactly a week from today. And I said, screw it. A couple hours later, I decided to just check on eBay. Mind you, these wheels are discontinued and you're not really able to get a brand new set ordered from Rays in this spec. This is the 18 by 9.5 plus 22. So basically the Magic spec, same ones I have in the 57 NRs and then as well as the C28s. But anyways, shortly after the ordeal with the Desmond wheels, I said, screw it, let me search eBay. I looked at eBay and I kid you not, the guy had actually 2 sets of these brand new. It was a shop. And not only that, but they were actually a little cheaper than they normally would because these run about $1,000 each. I was able to get them for about like $750 a wheel or so. Sorry about the lighting. Unfortunately, it's pretty cloudy all of a sudden. This weather is pretty bipolar. But I'm gonna go ahead and flip them on the other side so you guys get to see the concavity and everything. All right, guys, it started raining on me, so I brought them inside. And as you can tell, these are pretty concave for what it is. Now this is a plus 22. This is in the face number 2. Not really too sure what all the faces are. I think as they go higher, that means that they're more concave. I do know these unfortunately do not clear the Evo 8 and 9 calipers. So I will need to run a little small spacer. That is literally my only gripe with this wheel. Everything else hits all the wickets, the color, and then not to mention, speaking of color, as you can tell, these have more of a glossy finish and I didn't anticipate this. So like where the NRs are 100% flat, there's no like sheen or anything to them. This is like, and they feel rough. These have like a bit of a sheen to them. I don't know how else to explain it, but it just looks like higher quality paint. or whatever they anodize them, I think. But it's such a simple wheel, but honestly, I just think it looks so badass. This is my style of wheel right here. Now, like I stated, I wanted to try something different with the Desmond wheels. It just didn't happen, and then it landed me towards these. This is definitely a wheel that I've wanted for a long time, and a wheel that I will not feel like it's a knockoff of everything. This isn't a new wheel by any means. These have been out for about a decade, but I do know at the time when these came out, this was the strongest wheel that Volk made. I don't know if that's changed over the years. These are roughly, they should be, I'm gonna weigh them, but they should be pretty close to weight of the C28s, maybe a pound or two heavier, just because, like I stated before, strength was the biggest thing they were chasing after with this wheel. All right, guys, next up we're gonna weigh them. I went and put some socks on so y'all don't make fun of my toes. So I come in at 176.6. And now with the wheel, 194.8. As you guys can see, this is the benefits of going with a forged wheel. I was actually expecting these to be way heavier than they were, and they're not even, it's less than a pound, 0.6 pounds heavier than the CE28. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'm actually very, very shocked. I was expecting a pound and a half or so heavier. So it's making this purchase feel even better. All right, guys, I went ahead and tried to test fit it, and they do not clear. It's not much. I actually ended up hitting my caliper a little bit right there. That's what that is. No big deal. These things need a refresh anyways. So here I have a 5mm spacer, hub centric, so no hub rings are needed. I think I can get away with a smaller spacer, so I'm gonna go ahead and try this, and then I'm gonna go and see how that clears. Man, I hate running spacers. Any bigger and I would get extended studs, but this isn't too much, so we should be just fine. I ran these same spacers for a long time with some AME TM02s that I ran. Those were crazy aggressive. All right, so as it turns out, I will not be going smaller with the spacer. Looks like the 5mm barely clears it. And when I say barely, I mean barely. So anything less and it would definitely be hitting. So I think I'm good right here. However, I don't know how I feel about these studs now. I may get the extended ones just to be on the safe side. But yeah, these things look badass, super badass compared to, well, in general, but especially compared to these. So now you guys get to see why these felt kind of like a knockoff compared to these. Even though these don't have a tire on them, they just look so badass. And then, like, super concave. As concave as it can be, pretty much. Man, I'm gonna need a hell of a lot of camber though. It's a good thing I'm running a 245. I kind of wish I would have ran a 245/35 now. But this wheel wasn't the plan with those tires. But that's gonna wrap it up for this one, guys. I wanna try to get this thing, the tires swapped and get them on the car. I guess I'll figure out what I'm gonna do with the studs and all that. But I appreciate you joining me as always. Pretty excited about this. This is something I've wanted for a while, and I think it's gonna be a good look for the Evo. So thanks for joining me. You're not gonna wanna miss what's in store for the Evo with the wheels and the drive-by wire and all that stuff. So I will catch you on the next one. Take it easy. I'm out. Peace.